Welcome back, everybody. Today, we are finally test driving the Resurrection Cherokee. I have been getting a ton of kind of little things done off of camera. There is still a ton that needs to be done. So I'm not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get right to work on this thing. So hopefully by the end of this video, we can take this thing on a test drive. So where did we even leave off? I feel like it's been forever. Last video we put together our rear suspension. We installed the shackles so we have a good shackle angle now. We built our bump stop setup and we fabbed up a custom cross member for our shocks. That was all quite a bit of work packed into one video, and this video should be just about the same. We have a ton of small things to finish. We need to remove everything in the rear and paint it, reinstall it all, and hopefully by the end of this video we'll be able to take this Jeep on a legit test drive. Now, instead of explaining myself and what's going on here, I truly did just jump into it, so I'll explain this as I go. You can tell I'm excited to get this thing going down the road. What you just saw me do is mount the bump stop pad we made in last video. That was one of the little things I was talking about, and there's gonna be quite a bit of this video. Next up is removing literally everything back here to prep for paint and the sound deadening spray. This mainly includes the Sterling, the Leafs, and our fuel tank. Now I didn't touch on it in last video, but there's a little work that needs to be done so our fuel tank works with our new shock setup. So, we're gonna put a 90-degree bend in this. This is gonna be hot. We're gonna put a 90-degree bend in this, and this is gonna be the new front brackets or front mounts for the gas tank, because we need to move this gas tank back roughly an inch. That's as far back as we're gonna be able to go. And I didn't wanna have to do this, but the straps right here, the end of it is just touching this back shock. So, I mean, we don't want that obviously, so we're gonna move this tank back roughly an inch. To do that, we just have to make these new mounts and everything up here should work. I don't realize it yet, obviously, but you can't move a 9701 XJ tank back at all. I saw someone do this, which is where I got the idea, and later on after this I saw it was a 95 or something, so different tank. But for now, let's continue and pretend I'm on to something. Now I just remade this piece real quick. I put a little more material. You can kind of see it on the sides there. It's a little curved now. I just didn't want these to have the chance of failing because there is going to be a lot of weight on these. I mean, 20 gallons worth of fuel. And I guess we will have a gas tank skid plate under there eventually, but we still don't want these to rip or break or anything. This is 3/16 though, so it is pretty thick. Alright, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to move these forward a little bit, and to do that I'm gonna have to cut out some more and angle them at less than a 90-degree, or more depending on how you look at it, I guess. We're gonna have to bend it a little less. The width of the tank is 20 inches, so this is gonna have to land somewhere over here. This is gonna have to come down probably right around here. The distance between the end of the Jeep to this tab is 19 inches, which is not enough. The tank doesn't fit in between this space. We're 1 inch off. I'm gonna bring this out to 21 inches, and that should give us plenty of room. So, change of plans. We've only got a mount on this side. The other one we're gonna be using, you guys can't really see it. We're gonna be using the stock mount. Let's see. Wow, can't see anything. There we go. So over there you can see we're using the stock mount, and then over here we are using a new mount right here. So I did that because we had to come forward even more. 21 inches between there wasn't enough either because of how this strap is made and where it mounts in the back. So I had to bring it forward more, but on that driver's side, I couldn't bring our new mount forward anymore because it's a little, both these sides are different. So after some more looking, I found out that the stock mount here on the passenger side is about an inch forward from the one on the driver's side. So this one on the passenger side is the only one that we have a problem with. Before we had an issue with it, this strap touching this shock. So I decided to just put a new mount on this side. I kind of moved it as forward as I could. And now you can see we shouldn't have an issue with that strap hitting the shock. We've got about an inch of clearance right there, and this should actually get pulled back a little more once it gets tightened. And yes, I do have a socket in there right now. We are gonna have to either re-thread this piece because the threads only go up about halfway, or just use a big spacer like this. But not a socket. I'd probably do a legit spacer, an aluminum spacer probably. But yeah, no problems there. So now we can get this tank back out of here. I've taken this thing out like 6 times now, and we can move on. Next up on that list of random things to do is work on the Sterling. We have Barnes 4-wheel drive U-bolt eliminator leaf spring perches on the Sterling. I love them, I think they're awesome, but I've had an idea for a while on how to make them even better. I cut out some wings or side plates, I guess we can call them, in order for there to be more surface area of weld holding these perches on. I'm sure these would have been just fine if I didn't do this, but I like to overbuild stuff, that's what I do. I put bends in each of the side plates, welded them up, we're good to move on. And with that, everything on the axle should be welded. I just gotta add a breather at some point, but I think we can probably do that after it's already painted. So now, we just gotta do a lot of welding under here now. So we're gonna get to welding everything back here. Let me move the light down there for y'all. So we don't actually have that much welding. This should only take me a little bit, maybe an hour or so. But for anyone new here, we have our bump stop mounts that we made, I believe last or the video before that. Our bump stops are gonna get mounted right below this. And this is pretty cool. You guys know I like this a lot. It says BCB Fab. I think it came out really awesome. And then for unibody stiffeners, we have Barnes 4-wheel drive unibody stiffeners on the outside, rear, and in the middle. And then for leaf spring mounts, we have the rough stuff brackets. This actually wasn't part of the series. I did this a very long time ago. But I do have a video on them, and if you go far enough back on the channel, you'll be able to find it. And then of course, one of the last videos we did, we made the inner unibody stiffeners, and let's talk about them real quick. These are the BCB Fab rear inner unibody stiffeners. These unibody stiffeners come in a 4-piece set, and they're for the rear inner section of the unibody, right where that stock gas tank sits. For that section of the unibody on the Cherokee, there's not a lot of options on the market, which is exactly why I decided to make these. These are actually the same unibody stiffeners that we made for the Resurrection Cherokee a few videos back, with the exception of a few modifications I made afterwards just to make them a little better. These unibody stiffeners are made out of 3/16, like most unibody stiffeners, and are a must-have for any Jeep Cherokee going out on the trail to do some hard wheeling. These are available at backcountrybeagles.shop, where you can also buy official Backcountry Beagles merch. We've got shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and patches on there, along with hats too now. So go check it out. There is something on there for everyone. Anyways, we've got a Jeep to test drive. Let's get back to it. A few of those stiffeners on the inside are just tacked into place, but I think one of them is fully welded in. So this really shouldn't take all that long, and then we can get on to the painting. Haven't really been filming much because I've been getting a lot done, and we already went through the process of painting everything when we did everything up front. So I'm not gonna go super into depth on it in this video while we're doing the rear, that is. It's gonna be the same exact thing. We're using the same exact primer, paint, and sound deadening spray material. This time around, we've got the 10.5 Sterling. We've got the rear crossmember we made last video. A few engine bay brackets as well. We've got the coolant reservoir bracket, the coil pack bracket, ECM mount we made a few videos back, our battery tray, brackets for the leaf springs, and then over here, we've got a drag link, a track bar, and our links. So we've got quite a bit to paint. All of this stuff is ready to go. I still gotta spray down the axle. I've been working down here. All of this is sprayed down. I'm gonna install my seam sealer here in a minute, just to like the cracks, because a lot of this is stitch weld. You can see where we have space in between the welds. We don't want water to get in there, so we're gonna be putting some seam sealer. We're gonna be painting basically from this front leaf spring mount back. These rear stiffeners came out great. Everything back here I'm really happy with. If there's one thing I had to recommend doing before wheeling your Cherokee hard, it would be unibody stiffeners. Do all the stiffeners you can. Once your Jeep twists too far, there's no going back. You'll have problems with the doors, hatch. Ask me how I know. Seam sealing is very simple and definitely probably one of the most important parts when it comes to the unibody stiffeners. You don't want any water or any dirt getting behind them because you'll never get it out. I get a lot of questions on what seam sealer I use, so this is what I use right here. I'll leave a link down below as well. You can get this at AutoZone and on Amazon. The only thing is it's expensive. There's other seam sealers out there that are cheaper. I've never used them, but I'm sure they would do the job just fine. All right, we are just about ready to paint. I've had the shop warming up with the fire all day. It is roughly 71 degrees in here actually, and it's actually 52 outside, but it should get pretty cold tonight or in a couple hours actually, maybe like 30 degrees. So we're gonna keep that fire going probably all night. We've got all our parts. We've got the Jeep. Got the Jeep all wrapped up. I didn't go super crazy with it this time because I went crazy with it last time and we still ended up with overspray on it. So I'm really not too concerned there. I did wrap up our coilovers, our bump stops, and a little bit of the front axle. Hood is gonna get repainted, so I didn't even worry about that. Everything is wiped down. Everything looks good down below here. It looks really good. It's gonna look even better painted. And for the paint that we've got here, we're using the same stuff as last time, so I'm not gonna go super into depth with it. We've got a 2-part epoxy primer and a 2-part ceramic gloss black paint. The primer is gonna be for all the parts in the axle and the underneath of the Jeep. Everything's getting primer. And then the gloss black is gonna be for the axle and all of the parts. And then I don't have it out here right now, but we've got a sound deadening spray, same stuff we used last time, for the underneath of the Jeep. We already did basically the same exact process about 2 videos ago, I think it was, with the front of the Jeep. I'm gonna link that video down below in the description if you're interested in that. In that video's description, I have linked all of the paint that we used for the Resurrection Cherokee. So if you're interested, go check that out. Anyways, I'm gonna get to painting. Painting is not my favorite thing to do, but y'all already knew that. Painting these parts is much more different than painting the outside of a vehicle though. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to be the best painter to do what I'm about to do. But you do have to have some serious skill to paint the outside of a vehicle and have a nice result. Once we get this Jeep driving, there is a ton of body work that has to be done before we can paint the armor, the fenders, the fender flares, and a few more things. All along, my plan has been to do all the body work and then bring it to a paint shop to have them paint everything. But I'm kind of rethinking that plan now. I've had quite a bit of people tell me that they'd like to see me attempt the painting, and now I'm actually starting to think that that might be the route to go. So once we get to that point, I'll make that decision. If I want to do it, I'll do my research, do lots of practice, and then we can paint everything that needs to be painted on this Jeep. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see me attempt that? I mean, the worst that could happen is it doesn't come out good and we try a second time. And now that I think of it, it is just a Cherokee. It's not an old muscle car. It would probably be good practice for future projects anyway. lighting in here is very bad right now, but we've got all of this painting done. Literally right now, the only thing that we have to do is put this Jeep back together, which should be pretty simple. The actual Jeep looks really good. The sound deadening came out better than the front, I'd say. So that is really good. And then over here in our little makeshift paint room, all our parts look awesome. So I know it is dark in here, but you can see we've got our gloss black axle and then all our other parts. They look really good. They came out awesome. So I'm excited to put this all back together and finally get to drive in this Jeep. I think first I'm gonna work on getting this axle into there. I just went and picked up some new hardware. So we should have everything we need to put that in for final assembly. So right over here, went to my local hardware store and picked up a lot of hardware, a lot of brand new hardware, and I totally forgot to ask the price, so I'm gonna have to look at my credit card statement. But yeah, we've got some 3/4 hardware for the drag link and track bar, and then all of this is 5/8 hardware for that rear axle. Oh, actually, I am lying, that is 9/16. This is the 5/8 hardware. Some of this, I forget, but I think all this is for the rear axle. There's a lot here. It's all yellow zinc, so it's that nice gold color, because that's how I like it. Let's get this Jeep back together though. I am beyond excited. We are going to drive this Jeep in this video. Final assembly. I didn't think this day would ever come. It's been quite a long journey. When I started this project in January 2024, I thought I was gonna be up in the mountains with this Jeep by the summer, but here we are in March of 2025. During this build, I've learned that if you're going to fabricate everything from scratch, which I've tried to do for the most part, it's gonna take a lot longer than just buying parts online and welding them to your Jeep. I've also learned that filming videos for YouTube doubles the amount of time on a build. I honestly didn't believe that going into this, but it is totally true. So with those two facts and just the ultimate goal of having the best possible Jeep by the end of this series, which means spending a lot of time on the small stuff, you can see why this has taken me so long. I find myself saying this every video, but this is a big video for the Jeep, possibly the biggest one yet. I think once the Cherokee Resurrection series is over and the Jeep is running and driving, I'm gonna put together like a list or a build sheet, I should say, for the Resurrection Cherokee. Because I get asked constantly exactly what I'm using on the Jeep. One in particular that I get asked like literally every week, which isn't a problem, is what leaf springs I'm running. These are 5-inch lift iron rock off-road leaf springs. Very cheap leaf springs. I'm hoping they're gonna get the job here. I mean, it's gonna sit right at least. Probably not the best riding leaf, but they're gonna work for our application. But just stuff like that. I think I wanna make a build list so you don't have to watch every single one of my videos if you don't have the time. You can just go over to the build list and figure out exactly what I'm running. Now I know I kind of hyped it up a few videos back and then we never talked about it again, but I'm ready to once again talk about the drive lines. I made everyone guess which company I was gonna go with and then we never talked about it again. So right now we're gonna be installing the rear drive line. I actually already installed the front off camera. They are from the same company, which is Adams Driveshaft. So in the past, I've always used Tom Woods drive shafts for my builds. I think I've owned 3 Tom Woods drive shafts. But for this build, I wanted to go a different direction, which was Adams drive shafts. I've never had a problem with Tom Woods drive shafts. I've got one in my red Cherokee, I've got one in my truck, and we did have one in the green Cherokee before we tore it apart. Never had a problem. I think the one in my truck is going on like 6 or 7 years old. I've always greased them on time during oil changes and before we go wheeling. Never never had a problem. So that would probably make you wonder, why wouldn't you use Tom Woods for this build? And the answer is, I just really wanted to try Adam's Driveshaft. I wanted to have my own opinion on them, and the only way to properly do that is to buy one and use it on the rig, or two for this matter. So I'm very happy so far. I mean, just how it came, the packaging is really freaking awesome. This is a 3-inch diameter shaft. This thing is freaking massive, along with 1350 U-joints on either side. So this is gonna be more than enough for this little Cherokee. The front, I think, if I remember correctly, it's a 2.5-inch diameter drive shaft, also with 1350 U-joints. The only reason that that's a smaller diameter is because you have less clearance down there than we do in the rear. Now, we've still got a ton to do to the Jeep, but I think this is a good stopping point to put the drive shaft in, and then we can continue on. This time around, I took the same approach to the drive shafts as I do with most other expensive parts. For example, tires. In the past, I've never bought the same tire twice, and I have definitely run some tires I like a lot. Goodyear MTRs being number one on that list, actually, if you were wondering. In my mind, it's good to shop around and try out different brands. I was always happy with Tom Woods drive shafts, but I am absolutely blown away by these Adams drive shafts. I got them within 3 days of ordering. I used a coupon code which dropped the price below what the competitors would have been. They look phenomenal, and better yet, I have a feeling they'll do their job of pushing around the Jeep on the rocks just fine. All right. Both drive lines are in. We got the correct hardware in there. We've got Loctite, got all the bolts torqued. These things are good to go. Now, this thing in the future definitely needs an Atlas right there instead of that 231. But that's gonna be down the road. So I'm gonna get to work on the rear shocks right now. You can see I already installed our rear cross member that we made in last video, or one of the last videos. That thing looks really good, and now, if you're new to the channel, you'll know, or you won't know, that we're gonna be using these Bilstein 5125s. These are just under, I can't remember, just under 11 or 10 inches of travel. And these came out of the front of the Resurrection Cherokee. I'm not gonna re-explain myself. If you wanna know exactly why we're using these, honestly, kind of cheap shocks, then go to the last, I think it's the last video or the video before that. And I explain myself why we're using these shocks and not, something a little nicer. Anyways, we're gonna be installing them right now so I can get that fuel tank in, which is right over here. Now, one thing I needed to pick up was 2 of these little spacers. These are 1/2-inch ID and they're 1 inch long, 5/8 OD. And I needed these to space the shock away from the bracket a little bit, or else we were gonna have interference there. For mock-up, I think I just threw like a thick washer in there, so I'm gonna have to cut these down actually to 1/2 inch. And I'll show you guys exactly what I mean once I get these in there. Nice, that looks awesome. I should have polished them up a little bit, but I guess we can do that later. So I'll admit, I haven't been filming all that much, but that's because I've been trying to get a lot of work done on the Jeep in a very short amount of time. With that being said, we are ready to take the Resurrection Cherokee on a test drive. I think so, at least. So you may be wondering, Ron, you haven't done the brakes of the Jeep. How the heck are you gonna take it on a test drive? Well, I did do the brakes, and we're not gonna include that in this video because I felt like the brakes needed their own video. So next video is gonna be all about the brakes, so it's gonna kind of be out of order. I kind of am realizing now that that's a little weird, but it's gonna be next video nonetheless. So now, over here, we have the Resurrection Cherokee. We already pulled it out of the shop. We know the brakes are working. We're gonna give this thing a wash, and then we are gonna hopefully take it on a test drive, and hopefully that should go well. I've got the GoPro hooked up. I'm gonna take this thing for a ride. I'm probably gonna call Ashley. Well, I'll call you if I have any problems. This thing is all washed. I think, let's see how this thing does. I think I double checked everything. Everything should be tight. We're gonna take it down here on the main road here, hit a few bumps, and my concern right now is it's gonna have death wobble. Hopefully not. All right. This is very nerve-wracking. Ashley's staying here. In case we have any problems, she can come save me. This is really scary. Try to go a little faster. Doing good. These bump stops are really annoying. I can hear them tapping. This thing is going to sit about 2 inches higher. Those coils are not the right coils for these, for how heavy this Jeep is now in the front, so it's sitting a little low. So it shouldn't be as bad once we get the right ones in there. Did good though, no death wobble. is like wandering, though.
Like a little bit?
Yeah, you're right. So annoying. front end's a little higher and it doesn't hit the bump stops every bump, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember it feeling like this before. Your Jeep doesn't feel like this.
No, this feels crazy up front.
It does smell though.
Yeah, we only got like 100 new holes in this thing.
Can I drive it?
Can I drive it?
Why not?
That's not good.
What is that?
Check engine light.
Blinking?
It's doing that thing that it used to do.
It's annoying. The airbag's blinking. It just blinked. Never seen that happen.
Well, because I was turning it back on. I think it was doing that thing that it used to do when we fixed it last time.
What caused that?
The coil pack or something. I was getting on it. Good. Oh, look at the radio's on now. This thing must look freaking massive to everyone. Yeah, it's slow.
I don't think we are going to be able to take this on far trips. We're going to have to trailer it.
That guy was looking. Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, it's gonna need an engine if I want to go anywhere with it.
I mean, yeah, it's better to probably just trailer it than this way. I think I just like how the truck is really tall, like headwise. Like this, we're gonna have to take these out.
Yeah. This thing's so annoying.
It does feel like it's wandering a bit.
Yeah.
You just need to adjust the steering.
Well, no, I'd have to do hydro.
in school, kids.
So we drove the Resurrection Cherokee up to this beautiful overlook. We come here quite a bit. It's not too far from home, actually. And she did pretty good. Looks like she's leaking a little bit of coolant from somewhere, but that's one of the things we're gonna have to work out. There's gonna be a lot of little things that we've gotta kind of work out on this Jeep. That's for any big build like this though. But she looks awesome. I mean, this is like the coolest Jeep I've ever seen. But there are a lot of cool Jeeps out there. This is definitely the coolest Jeep I have owned, or we have owned. So next video, I'm hoping that we can take this thing actually on the trail. Still a little bit of work that has to be done before it gets to that point. I still got to hook up the lockers. We need new coils for these coilovers because the Jeep is sitting about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches too low in the front, but it looks really good. I mean, I wish this is the height that it was going to be at, but we are currently riding on the bump stop, so definitely not ideal. We're going to be doing quite a bit more work on these rock sliders and the boat sides. The boat sides I just bolted them on in place just for now. They look freaking awesome though. We've got regular bolts on there. When these get painted and put on for good, they'll have countersunk bolts. I've had a few people tell me that I should do that. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing it. It's just one of the things that we're going to have to worry about later on. We're going to be doing some rub rails on here with some DOM, but that'll be probably after Rubicon, I think. Or before, hopefully before. 40s look awesome. The wheels obviously look awesome. Everything we did in the back here on this video, I mean, is working how it should right now. You guys know that this bumper is probably going to be going. It looks, I mean, it kind of kills the look of the Jeep since it's all rusty, but it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about the bumper right now. Another thing, we don't have the fender flares on the Jeep right now. There is still a ton of body work that has to be done to the actual Jeep, to the actual fender flares. We still got a little bit of work to do to the quarter panel armor as well. There's a lot of body work that has to be done. The fender flares and the armor, it's all getting painted far screen like the rest of the Jeep. It should look awesome, but we're going to kind of hold off on that for now. Obviously, it doesn't look the best it can right now, but it's functioning, you know, how it should. I want to work out all the kinks because we gotta go to Rubicon in less than 2 months right now. So I think the bodywork obviously is not something that has to be done for the Jeep to hit the trail. So we're gonna hold off on it for now. I know that's not what anyone wants to hear, but it's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna be respraying this hood when the time comes. I'm gonna do new fenders because these ones are kind of junk and they've been resprayed like 3 times. And I've got a few other things in the works, but for now, I mean, the Jeep is working right now, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully we can get this Jeep out on the trail next video, because I know that is literally what everyone wants to see. We'll have the Jeep at Easter Jeep Safari. I'm not really too sure exactly what days we're going to be there. So if you're going to be at Easter Jeep Safari, let me know down in the comments. We're going to get this Jeep back in the shop so we can continue working on it. It's literally all we do, so we can get it ready for Rubicon. I appreciate y'all for watching. Go check out backcountrybeagles.shop. Go grab yourself some merch. Go grab some unibody stiffeners for your Jeep. Every penny spent on that website goes towards the Jeep, goes towards the channel. It helps me afford building this Jeep, if you will, which is not cheap. We've got some awesome things in the works for the channels that you'll be seeing in the upcoming videos. I am super excited to share everything with y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you on the trail, and I'll see you next time.